Okay. All right. Hello again. Just wanted to quickly share today's lesson, or this week's lesson with you. We are going to be talking about lesson 5 and 6 today. I'll just put up there. Lesson 5 and 6. We're going to be looking at researching the audience. And we're going to have a bit of a short class again. So this is, again, just for you to remember that we go 1 week on, 1 week off. In other words, it's supposed to be pre-recorded for 1 week, and then you have to have live class on the alternative week. Please obviously consult like the information that's given to you on Call Campus, or again, just contact like the department manager. So obviously like Grant, or again, you are in the WhatsApp group, so you can just ask them. But anyway, I don't want to waste more time about that. I just want to get into the lesson, and let's just talk about today researching the audience. Right. Okay. So just move myself over here, and let's talk about just obviously let me introduce the concept of just the BRC. I've uploaded the BRC numbers to Call Campus as well, so you can just have a look at what the latest numbers are for all the commercial and community stations at the moment. For the latest diary release, which was I think just like less than 3 weeks ago, or something like that. I've got our quarterly, and again, you must know that the RAMs come out every 3 months, so on a quarterly. Okay, anyway, so let's look at the music research, and music radio again it populates one, obviously, just the format of radio worldwide, but also, again, music radio is defined as having 80% music being played out of the day, and then the rest is talk, and talk, which constitutes like competitions and obviously content, and advertising and news, or whatever it may be, right? To find the right mix, so we need to look at research. Research is your research being done correctly, and that is it, because you can do research, and you can research your hands or eyes or bum away until the cows come home, and you will have researched incorrectly and resulted a false positive. As I've said before, it's when you get numbers, or you get stats, you get details, you get results, and it's incorrect. Like, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant, right? So we got to keep on. We got to keep on keeping with our auditory music testing, our AMTs, as you see down there, and we got to conduct the AMTs in a correct way, with a good, just a good diverse representation of our audience. And then also know exactly, obviously, lining up just the bouquet of music that we are testing, that matches the format of the station as well, and obviously matches the trends and whatever it may be. Things that, I mean, we have to have the knowledge of being able to, as a music manager, or whatever it may be, music compilers need to. That's what they do 24/7. It's just about the music, and just like tweaking the music for the station all the time. But that's obviously part of their job as well, to be involved in these processes. As soon as I asked to rate the genres and the years in terms of like their music taste, information, collateral, to reflect 4 to 5 main genres and years of music. And so we don't only test new music, we test old music, we test a number of different categories that is up to the station's discretion, obviously, in terms of like how, let's say, for example, bubbling under might be categorized, and then again subcategorized from there. Just in terms of like all these rotations, and then like again, that is also subdivided to make sure that we don't get the same kind of oldies being played, in rotation when we are, obviously, I say we are programming the playback system to the clocks that we want to define, and obviously the clocks must be balanced, well balanced, our top 40s and so on and such. But again, we must test the songs first to see what we shouldn't play at all. So for example, there'll be a very popular song on a different station that is popular with their target audience in that format, and just not popular with ours at all. And so we kind of give it a skip or whatever it may be. Okay, so we do this. It is done in large acoustically sensitive venues, so they can hear the music. We play the bridge, we play the chorus, catches part of the songs. There you go. So hook choruses. Um, and that's again, so even if it's new music or if it's music that someone just it's old music and people have not really heard it before, it doesn't matter whether it's been a classic or it's a hit or whatever it is, it's going to be the catchiest part of the song, so that we can get a fair rating, let's say from 1 to 10 or whatever it may be, and see how we can then obviously accumulate those results and then act on them. Okay, so rating categories and questions asked before between the research companies, as I said, will differ. There'll be a different methodology in terms of the way that they want to include follow-up questions or whatever it may be. And again, the way that also, again, program and compartmentalize those categories, as I've said. So, do you know the song? Yes or no? Is it familiar? If you do, then how do you feel about the song? Do you like it, dislike, you love, you like it a little? It's apathetic. In other words, you don't feel anything for it. You do not like it or you hate it. It is just one of those things, right? So that we know that we can just exit, especially songs that one are just not good songs, but they are released by, let's say, really popular artists. We have plenty of those, and we have them, I mean, for life. Or alternatively, there could be just songs that are just they exhausted of it was good, like it's been played for like a good couple of months, it made top 40s, whatever it is, and just people don't want to hear it anymore, and so they might rate it based on a different reason, and say, well, okay, look, like it's still, I mean, the song itself is good, but I don't want to hear it anymore. And so again, those follow-up questions are really important to understand. Okay, cool. Like a song's quality cannot change, like the quality of its quantity can change definitely. Okay. Anyway, each participant is given a pen and paper, numbered lines. Obviously, the songs get played. They go, and then they fill out the results, and it's quite an expensive process because you must pay the participants, and we have a large number of participants to make sure that that again we have that varied and very dependable result. Okay, so we obviously have the digital age right now, so we don't have to do it in person. I believe that it's more effective to do it in person because again you can have like a bit of a follow-up session afterwards and ask people a bit more, obviously like interpersonal questions, right? That are again collaborative or whatever it may be. But again, to each his own, and to each station they'll do what they feel is within their budget and the range in which they want, obviously, some perspective to the music that they are playing. Okay. All right. So anyway, a market study is typically used to source loved genres, years, styles, music, individual songs for each category chosen. Again, once it repeat, I want to repeat some stuff, but again, the MTs will be about 700 to 1,500 songs. The third year, we give you the same activity to go and do this on a much smaller scale, so that you can understand what a very time-consuming process it is. But and that is obviously in person. Participants come in individually or in groups and are given computers, tablets that listen to the songs, and they obviously give the ratings. And so we have a little bit of it. We have a result there that's worth obviously considering and acting on. Right. Okay. All right. So once all the participants have responded, the songs are captured, and then obviously we going to now organize them in terms of like how we have set up now this particular research study, and obviously the variables within there, like for example, positive, negative, familiar, tired of, and so on and so forth. Right. So you'll see that exactly that. We obviously read it about it in terms of like score and quality is one approach as well. It's within your textbooks. Um, the basic and common sort usually consists of, songs that people are familiar with. A song, so familiar. Let me just get that right. All songs with familiarity score of under 65% are deleted. which when we say deleted, we're to be taken out of the database that is used by the playback system, and so it is not rotated at all, not included. We don't just delete it at all. We don't do that to information, and that is obviously a form of data. So two strongest indicators are the love score and the tired score, because I mean we get some two extremes on either side, and we really know how they feel about it. So we've got to take those into consideration first and foremost. The in betweens are difficult. That's why exactly it's like if it's under 65%, then it's not worth playing, right? Because it's mildly likable, and so it's more of a reason for someone to tune out. Again with the playback system, having to rotate that, we might get two or three or four songs if we consider the songs under a certain percentage that are not that great and not they don't hit that well. Um, and so it's a definite tune out factor, and we can create a quick perception of the radio station that we're just not playing great music, and it could be just again an output of rotation, that's automated rotation that we obviously program ourselves with into the playback systems. Okay. All right, it's important to note that AMTs are now going fully electronic and remote, so that we can get, and we can also do them a little bit more often if we'd like to, so that we don't have to go into the semantics and the logistics of having to organize like a big hall and whatever it is, and getting all these people in at the same time, or whatever it may be. So because we have the tools and the resources, we can use them, but once again, we have to use them correctly, right? So, okay, it's reduced the cost of AMTs, which means that we can do them more often, as I said there, and incentives like chances to win cash or whatever it is. So, ideally, we would like to pay our participants in some other way, and it's not just us. I mean, you've seen. I don't know if you've seen. So you can make money. I can't get rich on this, but anyway, but the point is if you are looking for money, you can test apps all day, right? So you can be one of the people that test apps. And so in the same I'm saying in that same way, you get paid for like testing and reviewing an app and then going to the next one and doing that and that and that and so on and so forth, literally for your entire workday. And so you can actually earn a relatively decent income just based on that. What is call out mean? And that is obviously we got to differentiate that from an actual call out. Please don't refer to it as what we say, call out in a phone or a topic, whatever it is that we have in conversation. It's not that. Call out music testing is commonly used by music radio stations. It's based on the same premise as an AMT, but it's done way, way more frequently, right? And it tests a lot less songs. So we have a bunch of songs. We want to try and get like a good rating or a good perception again, an overall feel. And the sample set, which is the amount of people that are involved, is a lot smaller. Again, everything is much smaller. It's more compartmentalized, and so we can do that by phone, or we can do it through secure websites so that we don't get bots coming in and destroying like the validity of our data, etc. Right. So it's slightly different to the AMT in terms of these scores are tracked against the previous call out results to evaluate if songs are slowly becoming less popular, more popular. And so we can then, again, as a music department, decide on business decisions. Okay. So actions that we will take depending on data that we receive, and then again adapt into knowledge. So it's losing popularity. We're going to play it less, and so again, as a music compiler, you can have an entire career because there's a lot of stuff that's involved, a lot of work that's involved daily. Okay, including, and when I say that, including obviously finding and sourcing new music and looking at trends and looking at social media, looking at, just, what the music companies and the music labels are trying to push and not push, whatever it may be, or and so on and so forth. And then using your common sense as well to be like, look, I mean, a music company, like a label, is always they're always going to push whatever musician that they have as well, and whatever song, or whatever. But there's so many songs that just are one not great, okay, and artists that are not producing great music. versus what actually makes it to, like the on-air platform and so on and so forth. Okay. All right. So, that's what I'm saying to you. The music compiler needs to use their own discretion and again do some research just to make sure that they've made the right decisions. Okay. So these are all in summaries. I know that this is super short, but I want to keep it there. Um, and then come back with lesson 7 and 8. So I would like to cover this in class, not this obviously this weekend. I say just in terms of like you having to done some research, understanding the difference between what we did previously and the digital and the more expensive approach to doing research, which is PPM, and then versus the Rams, which are a little bit more practical, but also again a lot more like there's the similarities, and then the big differences between the two, which again we covered in the um, previous lesson, right? Okay, so just and there's a mini auditory music test, where again this is what it kind of looks like. So you have to kind of know, do you know the song, etc., etc. I think the slide is just incorrectly placed, and you got a complete activity 11D question 1. So I'm going to keep it short again, and I will see you for the next lesson.